Okay, people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review. Tonight, I'm taking a look at the Walgreens exclusive Hasbro Marvel Legends Mr. Fantastic. Now, I wasn't a big, huge Fantastic Four fan growing up. I was more X-Men. My brother was into Thor, Avengers, and Fantastic Four, Spider-Man. So we kind of had our crossovers. I would read his comics, he would read mine, and everybody was hunky-dory, but I was perfectly happy with the X-Men. Yeah, I opened and reviewed The Invisible Woman with Herbie, but when I got the Human Torch, I just never cared to open it. Nothing against Human Torch, it's just I don't have a Fantastic Four display, and like I said, not a huge fan. But quick review of that, hell, I just opened this like 5 minutes ago. Bucky Cat body, translucent plastic, new forearms and hands, new boots with flame effects on them, new head with the flame effects, and this back piece. Now, I don't care for this back piece because of how asymmetrical it is. I wish both sides were like this. I want it flaming out, but this missing, I don't know, so that may not stay on there. And the head being a lighter translucent, almost orange compared to the redness of the body. Yeah, I don't know. I may eventually give this a paint job of the old classic red body with the black lines on it. But when it came to Reed, when I finally got this figure, I got excited for some reason. I guess Reed triggers something deep, deep down inside. I knew as a kid that I identified mostly with Reed. He was shy, he was kind of awkward. So as much as I wanted to be the partier, or the tough guy, or the outgoing person, I knew that I identified most with Reed. But don't tell anybody, that's our secret. Now, somebody recently commented that I take way too much time on packaging, so in response to that, taking a look at the packaging here. Big window shows everything inside. Walgreens exclusive sticker. On the side, what I'm guessing to be a more modern rendition of Mr. Fantastic. On the back, the pretty promotional shot, the bio. Down here's the warnings, the unreadables. Probably says something like, do not place in mouth, unstable molecules present. You thought I was gonna go for a grows in mouth joke. I didn't. Damn it! Other side, same picture. On the top, Fantastic Four logo. On the bottom, legalese, barcode. But I'm gonna get this open and see how he stacks up against Human Torch and Invisible Woman. And there we go, all out of the package, and not as exciting as I was hoping it would be, but there is something exciting about getting closer to finishing this version of the Fantastic Four. Now looking at Reed here, it looks like the torso sculpt is new. It's kind of a lankier torso, but it looks like there is costume over it. It's not just straight up muscle definition, there's some wrinkles to it, and there's some coverage. I like this. I wish they had added new arms and legs to it though. Just to kind of cut down on that muscle striation in the biceps, in the thighs, well, all over besides the torso. I think these are Spider-Man limbs of some kind because the duck feet look really familiar. And while I don't care for the duck feet, they kind of fit here because of Reed's quote-unquote awkwardness. And then it's cast in blue with black paint on top, and that all looks nice along with the Fantastic Four tampo on the chest. Get up to the head, and this is kind of not nerdy Reed, he's kind of debonair. He's a little bit sexy, but the gray in the hair above the ears adds a distinguished quality to it. And overall, I like it. We've gotten several Mr. Fantastics in the past, they've always skewed one way or the other. This is that kind of slight ladies' man Mr. Fantastic that doesn't quite know that he's a ladies' man yet. But I don't know how much I like the permaponder. The one eyebrow raised, just kind of constant, yes, I know more than you do, or I have an idea, or that look of I know what's going on, but I'm not going to explain it until more events unfold, and hopefully somebody gets it, but I doubt it because I'm the smartest man on earth. It's distracting. You smell la 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 what the Reed is cooking. And like I mentioned, the duck feet, I feel like this takes a little bit of height. I've seen several people on the forums add Havoc's feet to this just to give it a soul. Look more like a foot and to add a little bit of height, but we'll get to that in the comparisons here in a minute. And then I really do think his left leg is longer than his right because you put the feet straight down and he leans that way. To get him straight up and down, you gotta kind of kick this foot out here. Going over articulation, there's a ball going up into the head with a hinge in the neck so you can look up, you can bury the chin, no tilt, well maybe slight little bit, not much. Swivel, hinge and swivel at the shoulder, goes out to about right there, swivels around, bicep swivel, double elbow comes all the way up, hinge and swivel in the wrist, hinge, swivel, hinge in the torso, clicks forward that much, arcs back, swivel at the waist, ball coming out to the hip, can come all the way forward, back, out to about right there. Swivel at the thigh, double knee, kicks his own ass, hinge at the ankle, goes back, goes forward, and then forward facing pin for rocker. For accessories, Reed comes with 2 sets of stretchy arms. And these are the arms that came with this older Mr. Fantastic with well, he was stretched all over. It's got the air holes for stretchiness. You can bend it one way, you can bend it the other. Well, what was that? Yeah, I don't know if I just broke something or what, but it still stretches, still goes side to side. So, and really, I mean, it's his rubbery arm, so even if it did break, it's okay. And then the arms, they're almost too easy to pull out. They don't fall out, but the first time I tried to raise the arm, it popped out. Of course, it's not going to do it now that it's on camera. And then the stretchy arm plugs right in. Not a problem at all. You pull the other one out, plug that in. Easy as pie. And I like the look of this. It demonstrates his power, but going back to that old one, I kind of wish there was a extra piece for the torso or the leg. Show some stretchiness in other places. Not all the places. And then he comes with the ultimate nullifier, or the cosmic tape measure. But this is a nice sculpt. Most of the reference pictures I pulled up on the... Oh yeah, I did some research before actually starting this for the first time ever. I wanted to make sure I was putting the ultimate nullifier right side up. I didn't know which way he was actually supposed to hold it. Going by the reference pictures, the details on it do look accurate to most of the Ultimate Nullifier's appearances. It seems a little bit small, but I'm not going to complain too much. Also, when you're pulling it out of the blister, it's really in there, like most things these days in the blister. But be careful not to bend this too much, because I feel like I broke this a little bit. It wants to stay off to the one side. If I push it this way, it feels loose. It really feels like I tore it off. To put it in Reed's hand, you want to put that fragile ass little piece between the trigger finger and the hand and just kind of lodge it in there. At least that's how I feel like it should go in there after looking at pictures. And that doesn't look too bad. It works for what it is. But you can also kind of wedge it into the stretchy hand, because that's how I think of it whenever I think of the Ultimate Nullifier. Reed stretching up and putting this right in Galactus's face and get the hell out of here. For comparison, here is Reed with Sue. I heard a lot of gossip online that Sue was as tall as Reed, but now that I have them side by side, Reed is not much taller, but he is taller than Sue, especially if you focus on the shoulders. Yeah, her hair kind of poofs her up higher, but I feel like this is a good size. And in person, I don't know how much the camera picks it up, the blues are just ever so slightly off. And then the fours on their chests, the black lines on Invisible Woman seem a little bit thicker than the lines on Mr. Fantastic. And that's kind of nitpicking, but looking at them side by side, there's a difference there. But here's where most people have the quibble, and that would be Human Torch next to Mr. Fantastic. We always think of Johnny as younger than Reed, which he is, and we have that teenage look stuck in our heads, so seeing Human Torch taller, both shoulders and head, than Reed, it's just, it throws you off a little bit. But at least in my case, I'm going to have him on the shelf, probably in an action pose. You're not going to notice that shit coming by on a galloping horse. And then here's Mr. Fantastic with apparently the only thing I've kept over the years. I'm sure there's more hiding, but I opened my storage bin. This one was right on top, like, yeah, take me. So if you wanted to use him as a placeholder until we find out how good the new Hasbro thing is, this will work. For my taste, he's a little bit tall, he's showing teeth, but he's got fists. And that's a winner in my book. I lied. I had this thing on top of a dresser in the corner of the bedroom. This big, massive hunk of chunk of plastic from Marvel Select. And here the blues are close. So if you wanted to use this huge ass thing in your display, this will work too. For a more modern look anyway. But I like this one better. So at the end of the day, I like this addition to the team. It fills out the Fantastic Four. Obviously, I mean, he's a core member. But if I were being honest, I kind of wish this was in the blue and whites. I like that contrast better. The black and blue is cool. I'll admit this has got me wanting a Fantastic Four display in the toy room right now, whereas I didn't have one before this. But yeah, the white just pops. I'm not going to put it past Hasbro at all that once the core members are out at Walgreens that they'll do some kind of box set in the future. And we'll see either the whites and blues or the Future Foundation, or even the red costumes. I'm down for whatever, but I think after a lot of soul searching that the white and blues are my favorite. But getting Reed and then digging through my storage bin, I had forgotten how important the Fantastic Four is to the Marvel Universe. I pulled out the Doctor Doom, I pulled out the Blastar, I pulled out the Galactus. Every other figure I pulled out, and I had to think for a minute, is this Fantastic Four related? Shit, yeah. So I'm glad we're getting updated versions of these in Marvel Legends again, and to get such great figures of them. Now, Reed hadn't actually hit any of my Walgreens yet. I had to get him imported from, you know, the faraway land of Missouri, but it was totally worth getting it. Hopefully Walgreens will have this on their website at some point in the near future, or since the $12.99 sale is over, they'll get to, you know, distributing these better. If you like the review, comment, like, subscribe. I'll catch you on the Fwoosh.